We can challenge everything you believe you know about the workings of the law enforcement department will be put to test when you will find out the mind-blowing scenario in which the suspect proves to be stronger than the officer. It's a circumstance that defies the odds, a time when the border between power and vulnerability becomes blurry, and it's happening right now. We've all witnessed those stressful moments in movies in which the main character, equipped with unflinching strength, vanquishes everyone who tries to stand in their path. What, however, takes place when that overwhelming force instead takes the form of the suspect? Some of the police officers like to drive around acting like they have all the power before karma captures the corrupt cops and arrests them. Because a police officer and his coworkers mistreated some innocent teenagers, the department has secretly placed them on administrative leave without pay and suspended them. After making such a threat against a veteran, the following police officer was terminated from their position. This man standing on the corner of the street and I are having a conversation about absolutely nothing. John, I'm going to tell you one more time and you're going to go to jail. Is that right to lower your voice or you're going to jail? Do you have an ID on you? Do you have an ID on you, sir? Yes, sir. I sure do. People, in my heart, either okay. Can I show you my ID? When you walk up to an officer and you get that close to an officer and it's not good. Why? Because now you're in my personal space. So I am telling you to back up. And when you don't back up for you, yes, when I give you an order, right? And you don't follow it, that's what happens. I told you back up and you didn't. I told you back up again or I'm going to sit you down and you didn't. So I sat you down. That's how it works for you. Understand that? Yes. Up next, we have the time an officer got what was probably the largest lawsuit filed against her. Turn your hands up higher and keep your hands up. Keep coming back. You're coming back to the sound of my voice. If you can get him down on one knee and then the other, that's the point at which you should stop. What's going on? Keep your hands raised above your head and remain perfectly motionless. We'll walk you through everything in just a second. The truck has been emptied, sir. If you require assistance in obtaining your mobile device, we will go and retrieve it for you. Bring my phone to me. Thank you. For you, we'll go grab it. Where do you buy your drink? You are currently being guided to the waiting vehicle. Let's go. What do you have on you that could pierce or poke me if I were to come into contact with it? I am extremely grateful that you gave me permission to look over your right shoulder to see where the bed was located in the vehicle seat. Join us as we delve inside the world of law enforcement training, where officers push their bodies and brains to the ultimate limit in order to provide themselves with the tools necessary to deal with even the most terrible of enemies. But what occurs when such tools are subjected to the most rigorous test possible? She was pausing for a considerable length of time before she at last came to a halt. I have a holster right here in the passenger seat, ready for use. Who in their right mind would risk their life by parking their automobile on a train track? The police officer's assertion that she was unaware the suspect was present in the shopping cart led to her being fired from her position. If you wish to go to jail, or you already plan to go to jail, you must immediately leave the room and refrain from touching anything. Could we have this conversation outdoors, please? I'm working hard, and thanks to the First Amendment, I've picked up some new skills. Excuse me, stop doing that and put it down. According to a rule from the governor, no additional alcohol can be consumed after 11 o'clock. As you can see, the officer was already upset when he told the man, "Sir, if you drink that, you'll go to jail. Go outside, leave, and let's go." So you are free to speak your mind without fear of reprisal. You have successfully captured my attention at this point, so feel free to continue speaking without restriction. Nevertheless, I take issue with the manner in which you dealt with people of color involved in that scenario, such as the man who called me there, for example, as though they were subhuman. That particular day has never come up in my life, but you did when I cautioned you not to consume the beverage that you were holding. After that, you referred to me using that word, and you are free to use it once again if you so choose. Despite the fact that I have the strong need to tell him, "You're white. Who cares what color I am?" He referred to me by a name. It's a derogatory and racist term. I can't say anything because all you're doing is calling me stupid and thinking of me, which is why it's not Rachel. I answered him by saying, "He called me that word. Nobody told me to use it. I can't use it. Yeah, I do say it. Why? Because all you're doing is accusing me of being dumb and presuming that I don't have any other ideas." Nevertheless, the reason I say that is because of what you are doing. So a law enforcement officer had the audacity to shove a teenager who was unarmed against a car while simultaneously laying his hands on the teen's neck. My son did not put up any kind of fight when the other man grabbed him by the neck and held him there. The law enforcement officer who made those insensitive statements was ultimately sentenced to prison. The next officer had the gall to toss an unarmed teenager into a car while putting his hands on the teenager's neck. The video allegedly shows the officer putting his hands around the neck of Aunt Arnold's kid and telling him to put out his cigar because he doesn't have a problem with me, you got a problem with me. Aunt Arnold claims that this is what the video depicts. The officer then gives the boy instructions to show his hands, which are clean and shiny, and warns him not to put up any resistance to the procedure. To charge the 17-year-old with resisting an officer without resorting to physical force was completely unwarranted. Therefore, we listened to first-hand experiences from courageous officers who had been put in a position where they were being overpowered by suspects. Find out the strategies they used, the judgments they took in a split second, and the life lessons they picked up as a result of having to deal with adversity. You are going to be on the edge of your seat, begging for more after listening to these riveting stories. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and enable notifications to ensure you never miss an episode of this show that will challenge everything you believe you know about the world. Keep an eye out for the next step, since this is a voyage that you won't want to miss.